Robin Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez just ended. I'm going to talk about every fight on this card. We have to talk about how big of a star Anthony Hernandez can become for the UFC and why. I'm really, really big on Anthony Hernandez. But overall, this is a good card. A lot of good performances. Somebody got sent to the hospital, which we're gonna have to talk about. But then at the end, I'm gonna talk about the Apex. I'm gonna talk about why these cards suck to watch, and it's I'm gonna whatever. Let's get into the fights. Cody Brundage versus Eric McConnell. Eric McConnell won by split decision. It started off good early, shoots a takedown, gets denied by Cody Brundage. Then we get some fence holding, as we always do now in the UFC. Brundage did get a late takedown in the middle of the cage, but he gassed out pretty quickly in this fight. Really couldn't do much with it. We move into the second round. Um, Again, it was a better round for Cody Brundage, I felt, but Eric McConnell found the kick to the body. Um, and it started to really run and tear on Cody Brundage. We get more cage holding near the end. Great combination against the fence for Eric McConnell. Cody, Cody then landed a stunning right near the end of the round. You know, one of the judges gave Cody Brundage this fight 30-27, right? So we have two judges give Eric 2 rounds, and then one of them, he didn't win any. Again, this is a really good fight. I don't want to knock on it too much, but it just goes to show, man, the scoring makes no sense. This is a really good fight. I felt the right guy won it. Um, Eric McConnell. I think he just got in, or Eric McConnell, however you say it. I think he just got into the UFC, or if not, has only had like one or two fights. Cody Brundage has been in the UFC for a while. We've seen what we're gonna get from him, so I don't know, man. It's a pretty good fight to open up the card. Then we move on to Gabriel Fernandez versus Julia Stoyarenko. However you say these names anymore, I honestly don't know. It was a slow start to this fight. Julia looked good on the feet, engaged in the clinch a little bit, landed a couple uppercuts in there that I did like. The late body kick was getting through for Fernandez, though, and that's where in round one, um, she really stood out to me. We then, later on in that first round, to me, it was Fernandez. Her shots were much more impactful, I felt, in that round. We move into round two. Georgia, however you say her name, did get a takedown. Um, no. Oh, they didn't even credit her with the takedown. She got her down briefly. Um, but when it came down to it, she was so one-dimensional. One-dimensional. It wasn't even funny. She had a jab, and she was shooting for the takedowns. And the more the fight went on, the more that Fernandez found those reads, she just took over. But again, it's a women's fight. I don't really want to spend much time on it. But a fight that I do want to spend time on, Euros Medic, man. This guy is incredible. Like, he kind of has, I don't know what you want to call it, a bit going on, but like, every one of his fights, he never gets finished, and then out of nowhere, he finishes his opponent, and that's exactly what he did right here. He got dropped within the first 5 seconds of round one, with the right. Then he got back up after I thought Urbina was gonna finish it. All it took him was a left down the middle, followed up by a knee, and another straight left, drop to Gilbert Urbina. I really like Medic, man. I really do like Medic. He's fun on the he's funny on the mic, man. But it is kind of concerning though that like you need to get into a fight by never getting finished. But I really like what Medic has to offer. I think that he's around a good team. I think that he really has improved and really has shown a lot within the UFC. Welterweight though, we know what that division is. Welterweight is arguably the toughest division to compete in because of the fact I feel like it blends weight and skill perfectly. Like we know that flyweight is beyond the skill level of heavyweight, but heavyweight size and that. That's why welterweight to me has always been the most interesting division in MMA. Uh, but this is a really good one from. I really do like Medic. I want to see him improve. Hopefully, he doesn't need to get anyone knocked out in every fight. Well, we'll see. Then we move on to Jocelyn Edwards, the Leon Edwards clone, and yeah, first on TKO, we had another way eye poke, but after that, we were getting some big combinations from the both of them. This was an entertaining women's fight. But DC orderly calls a left hook dropping Cacoletta right as Edwards throws a hook. Then she lands yeah, she landed an uppercut initially into the left hook, but DC literally said it right as it happened, which is pretty funny. Um, but yeah, really good one for her in the bantamweight division. We know that the bantamweight division, with the return of Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison, I feel like the women's bantamweight division is getting much more interesting. You got names out there like Norma Dumont, Macy Charson, if I'm remembering the right division, but yeah. We move on to Elijah Mitchell, man, or not Elijah Mitchell. I'm thinking of our buddy over in San Francisco, Elijah Smith. I'm too excited for football. Elijah Smith TKOing to Shomi Kazama in the first round. Kazama tried taking neutral down early, and that's instantly where the fight went wrong from. Takedown gets denied, and Smith just starts smashing him on the ground. Because Alma, though, I need to give him the respect that he deserves. He was still throwing up submission attempts, which was badass. He threw up an armbar, which looked kind of deep, up until, Elijah Smith decides to pull out his inner Rampage Jackson, smash his head on the ground, and the worst part of this powerbomb too, when he was going into it, he had the armbar on him, but he had his hands on Buddy's face, and so fucking, I love him, man. You guys know I'm a big Rampage Jackson fan, and I'm a big Elijah Smith fan. I don't know why. I wrote down Elijah Mitchell, but I did, but minus 800, 9-1. He grew up in the sport. His dad competed in the UFC, and I love that, man. I love seeing that after the fight, like, AJ McKee, right? His dad used to fight in MMA. I like that when you have a father son who both have been in this game, both have done it professionally. Like, that's a different kind of level of love between father and son. One of the reasons I love this sport, but Trishome did get rushed to the hospital. I do hope this man recovers. And yeah, man, I cannot say enough how incredible this performance was. I only wish he got to do it in front of a sold out crowd. I've kept it together and they were at the full prelims. Then we move on to Julius Walker versus Rafael Squaria. Uh, I didn't mind this fight. I felt like this was one of the weaker fights on the card, but still, Squaria started at a good distance. We got a cage hold from Walker while he was trying to find a way into that distance. Walker then swept off of a high kick, gets a takedown after the fact, and he is able to find the back relatively quick, goes for the triangle. Walker then fights to get the arm under the chin, gets very close, but the round ends with Walker. Or no, I'm jumping around. He nearly got that triangle. I think they got up. Uh, Shaquille for his way out, and then he landed another takedown, ended the round on the ground. Um, and instantly in round two, Shaquille dropped Walker with an inside leg kick, and the leg kicks for Shaquille were working. He only threw four of them in this fight. Well, when he did, I even like besides the one that dropped him, I could tell like they actually were getting the Walker a bit. But after that, uh, he controlled them against the fence. Then Walker reverses position, rocks Sequoia. Sequoia then had him hurt right after being hit with the right hand, and that second and third really got the fight going. In the third, yeah, in the third, Walker dropped Sequoia once again. Sequoia then, uh, dropped Walker. Uh, yeah. Walker drops Sequoia first. Sequoia drops him, and then Sequoia tried jumping a guillotine. Walker then got to top mount, but was gassed. And really, what I liked about this fight is that this was really just a matter of momentum swinging back and forth between these two. I really think after the first round, these two guys are already, wanting to get out of there. And it was a fun fight. Julius Walker wins 2:30:27. The 1:30:26, I believe, wasn't that a point deduction? Oh, where was that? I forgot to write down what the point deduction was for. I think it happened in the second though, but this was a fun fight. This is a really fun fight. Good win for Walker moving forward. I think he rebounded off of who did he lose to again? I forgot, but I know that this is a rebound win. Really fun fight. Then well, not really from, but it's a decent play. Then we move on to Christian Leroy Duncan knocking out Eric Anders. Now, Christian Leroy Duncan, I have my concerns with going into this fight. Eric Anders is a veteran, 37, I think, 38, has been around forever. I think he lost his last fight to Brad Tavares, if I'm not mistaken. But, the fight starts off with an eye poke, which is always a good thing. We did get a lot of good output early by Duncan. Then we got a low blow from Eric Anders, which stopped the fight 10 seconds after the eye poke. Duncan then caught Anders with a knee, but Anders was able to quickly rush in, recover, and shoot for a takedown. Then it was a spinning elbow that catches Anders into a right hand. Really good knockout by Christian Leroy Duncan. Very smooth spinning elbow. But yeah, this is how the fight should have been. This is ideally what the UFC and what Christian Leroy wanted. A newer, younger guy taking on a veteran and getting a dominant performance. Middleweight, again, we have the champion fighting next weekend. Uh, fighting Hamza Chimaev. We got a lot of movement in there. Obviously, the main event is Raw. But this is exactly what Christian Leroy Duncan needed, and I really loved his performance. A really good finish by him. Then we move on to Miles Jones. Miles Jones versus John Matsumoto. Man, Matsumoto wins this fight by split decision. I really thought this was Jones' fight to lose, to be honest. And I didn't really think that going into the fight. We're starting off in the first round. Heavy grappling by Jones was working really good. Jones left a lot of openings on the feet, though, to land the big shots. And that's where I feel he lost that round was I really liked what he was able to do. I really liked how he was mixing in the shots and landing them, landed 5 of 8 takedowns. But he left his chin wide open so many times. And he was only landing power shots. You really didn't see that jab come into play until the start of the third round, and Matsumoto was able to work out his picks because of it. Once he found the distance and he found out, okay, he's just gonna wing an overhand or he's gonna wing that right hook at me. Let me, move in, land 1, 2, back up, went for the legs as well, which greatly helped him. He also went for his own takedowns. Miles Jones were able to defend him. He also had 2 submission attempts. I forgot which ones they were, but Matsumoto in this fight, like, to me, it was Miles Jones putting himself in worse position after worse position. Like, it made no sense to me, but, Matsumoto gets a win, moves on to 17-1, and he beats a veteran in the bantamweight division. Miles Jones, I feel like he's been around for a few years, right? He's gotta been, but yeah. Then we move on to Andre Fiala versus Christian Rodriguez. Uh, so no, not Andre Fiala. Andre Fewey. Andre Fewey, he looked amazing in this fight. He was doing really well in the first. I love how quick he was on the feet. He had the reach advantage, and he was actually using it. Rodriguez couldn't get anything done by Fewey constantly throwing the jab out there, keeping him at range, and constantly tagging him with something. Um, when Rodriguez was able to get close, though. He was able to land some big shots, but I felt Feely in round two, especially calm and collected, let Rodriguez come in at spurts, and then over the course of the fight, was just tagging him throughout the entire round. I he got cut under his eye, or Rodriguez had cut under his eye, but Feely, it was. There's no better way of saying it. Like, it was just veteran instinct. And the irony of Christian Rodriguez is he destroys any prospect you put in front of him. But he loses to any guy who's, somewhat of a veteran. It's pretty hilarious. Um, but it was a good fight. I think with Christian Rodriguez, though, you know, obviously the grappling could have done better with, but I would have liked to see him really, move into the pocket and really throw some power shots. I felt like Feely, most of this fight, was able to throw, keep the fight at his range, keep the fight at his pace. Okay, I got my second win now. Let's ramp this up. When I think Rodriguez at times could have surprised them with, mixing in a right cross or 1-2 right cross, or, you know, I can't think of any combinations. You know what I mean, right? Where, Feely is reading everything I'm doing. Okay, well, let me add this in the middle of my combination, or put this at the end of it. But, it was a fun fight. We then move on to Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Hill. Lucindo wins this fight 30-27 on two cards, 129-28. Hill looked good early, landed a couple hooks before Lucindo took her back and pushed her against the cage. We got some good dirty boxing in the first round by Lucindo, and to me, she was a quicker fighter in this fight, and her shots just had more behind them. Uh, Really good dirty boxing. Round two, Hill gets a guillotine while standing, uses it to push Lucindo back against the back, oh my, back against the fence. There we go, I can speak English again. Um, but it was Lucindo really pushing the fight, trying to get Angela Hill to the ground and landing some bigger shots. Uh, once she was able to get her down to the ground, she was able to get in the half guard. Once she did that, Angela Hill really didn't have anything for her. But you know how women's MMA is, right? I'm not gonna knock Angela. Oh, I think Lucindo had an incredible fight, but again, there's just something about it, man. I can't say whatever. It was a decent fight. We move on to Steve Erceg moving up the bantamweight and beating Odie Osborne. Now, this was a fight that I looked at, and I thought that, it's a good fight for Erceg. But you always got to wonder, a guy moving up in weight after being shinned a few times, it's either the best move they make or the worst move they make. And right at the start of round one, it almost looked like a horrible move. Odie was landing quickly. a really good three piece combination from him that I like. And he was much quicker. Ursek then was dropped by a check hook. We got some back of the head shots. We always love those. And Odie Ursek was to get to his back. And as far as round one goes, it was as good of a start as they're gonna get from Odie Osborne. Ursek was then able to reverse position, but Odie Osborne's speed in that first round was a big factor, and Ursek really couldn't answer it until later on in the fight. He did have a good kick to the body, and he got a takedown late, got a body triangle. So then, you know, moving into the second, you had a bit of hope for, uh, uh, my notes all jumbled. But yeah, like, as the fight went on, you have more hope for Ursay. Obviously, what Ursay showed on that run there, and, moving into the Pantoja fight, which some people thought that he beat Pantoja, is he has really good striking. I think he is good in scrambles, which you want to see from a guy who mainly is a striker. But the chin though, right? That's always gonna be a question. But he got it done in this fight, won by unanimous decision, and bantamweight. We'll see what happens up in bantamweight. We got the likes of Petr Yan up there, Moravis Champ, we got Umar, we got Sean O'Malley. We got a lot of names out there that I feel that Ursag is going to really struggle with, I feel. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. This, though, exactly what they needed. A win that he desperately needed, beginning a new chapter, a new division. We'll see how it goes from. Then we move into our main event, and holy shit, Anthony Hernandez is incredible, man. Now, Dolidze started the fight with a spinning back move. I don't know why. He did a really good job though, landing some leg kicks and making it a scrappy fight against Anthony Hernandez, which I thought was a good approach to start a fight against Hernandez. Then Dolidze held him against Cage. Hernandez able to get out of it, land a takedown. Dolidze, though, he did a really good job at constantly going for leg locks every time that Hernandez tried to get him down, and it worked. Hernandez, though, able, after letting Dolidze get up after that, gets another takedown, and the pressure that Anthony Hernandez is able to put on a fighter, which pressure fighting, whether you love it or hate it, it's a part of the new sport. It's a part of the new generation. This is how you win fights. And this was just a pace that was unbelievable. And the later you get into this fight, the easier the takedowns got for Anthony Hernandez. In the third and fourth, like at the end of the third specifically, he grabbed Lindsay by the neck like you would do like your little brother, and did like the brother toss to the ground right there. You know that you do, right? This guy's incredible on the feet. eh, You know, consistently is a submission threat. Threw up a chokes when he could, fought for the neck when he could, and eventually was able to get it. And again, I want to stress this: like, the way he was able to react to the leg locks that Dolidze was trying to. That's something that I work for in a fighter, and that's what makes me a fan of fighters. Where it's like, how do you problem solve? How do you approach, a sneaky submission, or how do you approach, you know, a check life hook? Little things like that, and it was everything in this fight to me. Anthony Hernandez was able to, process and was able to react quickly. And again, to do this, Roman Dolidze isn't, a top five title contender, champion level fighter. When you're able to do this, though, when you're able to do what Anthony Hernandez has done on this now, what is it, 8 fight win streak, it's incredible, man. This guy is an animal. But I gotta end off of this. We gotta talk about this little thing right here. The UFC Apex. Now, before I do, Anthony Hernandez also, this guy is nothing but pay per view. After cutting that promo that he did after the fight, this guy is nothing but pay per view main event. Not main event yet. Pay per view headline, not headline. Pay per view main card. This guy, I feel, is able to draw emotion, and that is the number one thing that a lot of fighting fans do not get. When you are able to draw emotion, doesn't matter if it's hate, doesn't matter if it's love. You're a star. Colby Covington, megastar. Tito Ortiz, megastar. I'm trying to think of like all of these guys that Kevin Holland. I made my video on Kevin Holland is a star in modern MMA. Whether you like it or not, he's one of the only names that casuals know. Um, but like Anthony Hernandez, the style that he has, where he is beating and breaking fighters. He's not, controlling, going for control time. He is battering you. When he's on top of you, he's landing elbows, he's landing hooks, he's going for submissions. That's what we want to see. And we also like to see a guy that tries to fucking swear in a combat sport in which I'm pretty sure the majority of us fucking watching are like 18 to 35 or whatever, maybe. Maybe you're younger than that. Shout out to the young fans out there. We were all, we all once were you. Um, but yeah, man, I am really big on Anthony Hernandez. UFC, you get behind Anthony Hernandez. You get him to have proper interviews. I'm not talking about Nina drama. I'm talking about I want to see him on, MMA, uncensored. I want to see him go on aerial. I want to see this guy have a chance to build his name because I love his fight style. I love what he brings to the game, and I think he's terrific on the mic, which is what we need right now. But let me know in the comments also too. To end all that off, this guy should not be fighting in empty arenas, and that's exactly what the Apex is. Doesn't matter how you want to look at it, whether you like the Apex or whether you hate it. No crowd, no gate, no hype around the city. That's big, right? And I'm gonna talk about that more in my video tomorrow, where I talk about what I would do with Anthony Hernandez in his next fight moving forward. But I'll save that for tomorrow. Let me know though, what did you think about the fights tonight? Are you done with the UFC Apex? And also too, I'm already blanking on your name, brother. Da, 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 da. Oh, shit. Where'd he go? Um, just show me, cause I hope you recover well, man. Hope you're doing fine, and you're able to come back and make your living in this sport. Um, as soon as you can. But other than that, that's all I got. Later.